Okay, let's take a look at the servo that caused the death of my Carbon Z Yak. I believe that these servos problems are being caused by a cold solder joint. If you remember, I had two servos that were bad, and I opened the other one up just now after Horizon sent it back to me. They sent me my old parts and gave me some credit, so they did take care of me. They didn't reimburse me everything that I'm out, but that's because they did not know what the problem was at the time. So let's first power this up and see what this servo does. It doesn't do anything. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so see, it's going full deflection. At first I thought it was a short, then somebody mentioned that it might be a potentiometer issue, and since I don't know much about potentiometers, I thought that was a good possibility. Now I'm thinking it is a short / cold solder joint problem, because I found a cold solder joint in the other brand new defective servo that was seen in the previous video. So we'll pull this out of here and go ahead and take this off. Keep my lead in there. Now then, I'm going to leave it over here where y'all can see it. I'm going to go ahead and pop the control horn off of here. There we go, control horn's off. Now we're going to open up the case here, and we'll see what we can find. Hopefully this will help get this issue resolved so that they quit losing planes to it and having frustrated customers, and everybody can enjoy this plane for the fun plane that it is. You know, one thing I will say is that at least it does not look like it is a design issue with the servo, which is a good thing, that EFLR didn't design a poor servo. But again, it goes back to Chinese manufacturing. They it may be a little bit cheaper, but you know, when you go through this kind of stuff, it affects the bottom line too, and in the long run you end up paying for quality now, or you end up paying for quality later. And this is a case of having to pay for quality later. Folks shouldn't be expected to have to go out and spend $200 to get comparable high-tech servos and then have to shave out material here in order to be comfortable flying their plane. Alright, so we'll pull this out. There's our gears. Everything. Then we'll slide this out. Slide this whole case out. There we go. Okay. Now, when we look at this, let me get a close look at this, since this is the first time I'm opening this up before I move anything around too much. Let's see what we've got. We've got, oh wow, this thing is smoked. There was definitely a short in this. This servo is absolutely smoked. Every single wire inside of this servo is fried. So I don't know that this was a cold solder joint, but something was definitely shorted, and there's no way to tell what it was now, since I don't know how much of that you can see, but the board, everything about this servo is destroyed. It's just fried. It looks like, and some of this is melting, I'm sure, but it looks like, wow, I can't even tell where this fire started, but It's definitely something with the potentiometer slash motor wires. It looks like this may have started on the motor wires. I'm going to have to dig a little deeper on this and see what happens. On my last servo, the white wire had a cold solder joint. This one does not appear to have a cold solder joint. As you can hopefully see, I'm actually sliding the case back. But yeah, and it looks like this started with the black wire. It looks like the black wire shorted with the red wire and basically just fried the entire servo. You can see how charred it is. So the problem here is short. So I'm not sure. I can't see any problems with the potentiometer case. The case actually looks good, other than a little bit of melting, which, you know, is now obviously caused by this fire that basically started inside of here. Not sure why it waited until flight to start, as I did inspect it before I flew it, but that's absolutely what happened. It does look like these wires are stripped pretty far back, and it would be pretty easy for this wire to cross over. I'm hoping that y'all can see all of this. I mean, this white wire could definitely cross over and touch something here. So they've just got so much stuff shoved in here, and they've trimmed the wires back too far in some of these spots. Everything about this servo is all melted together now, so there's really no way to inspect this board any further. But it does look like these servo failures are absolutely coming from shorts and cold solder joints. So there you have it. Now it's just time to get a product bulletin out and get it addressed. I know that it's a random issue. I know that you can't tell which ones are going to do it and which ones aren't, but when you're risking the chance of a plane going out of control at a high rate of speed, I'm sure you'll be flying these at Seth, and I'd be very interested to see if those are stock servos or if they've just been completely reworked on the inside. But I wouldn't want to fly this around any sort of crowd of people. So there you have it.